Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Leaving my garage today, head over to Whole Foods. Take you along for the ride. See if we can't learn a little bit about FSD today. Well, it's turning the wheel, but not quite ready to leave on its own. Give it just a bit of encouragement here. No hands, no feet. We missed the Acura. Put the garage door down. Navigate around on my neighbor's expensive cars. Thank you, FSD. I'm paying attention. Okay, I guess we'll take the highway there and we'll come back to back roads. So Tesla's full self-driving, or FSD, it's under the supervised status right now. That means someone's got to be in this seat watching the road, paying attention. Well, what does that mean, Rick? Well, it means FSD's got two little eyeballs up here looking at me, and there's two LED cameras or lights you can see in the playback of the video that are trained on my eyeballs. It can see what direction I'm looking. It can even see how I'm focused. If I'm focused, 100 yards out in front, everything's great. If it sees I'm focused on the screen or on my telephone or a book, or my eyes are closed, there's unaudible warnings at first, and then blink on the blue screen. And if I don't respond to those very quickly, it'll disengage FSD and I'll get a strike. If you get 5 strikes, FSD's turned off until you go a week with no strikes. Then it takes 1 strike off. So it takes 5 weeks to get all 5 strikes taken away. And I've done that on a couple of occasions. Heard comments, well, oh, you're not doing something right. You're not paying attention. I've never gotten a strike. Well, I've recorded a bunch of these. You can check my videos, but in general, I'm paying attention, looking straight ahead. Sometimes it's not paying attention to the warnings that you get right here. To operate full self-drive, you almost have to have one eye on the road and one eye down here at the screen, so that when it asks you to acknowledge you're there, or move the wheel or something, if you don't do it immediately, it assumes you're asleep and you get a strike. Well, to be clear though, this little green dot right here is the driver awareness confirmation. The blue steering wheel confirms you're in full self-drive. But the green dot means that the cameras are working, it's trained on my eyes, and I don't have to make any confirmations with the steering wheel that I'm paying attention. It can see that I'm paying attention. But sometimes with a cap or sunlight coming in just a certain way, that green light will go off, and then it requires you to touch the wheel every 15-20 seconds just to confirm that you're there and paying attention. Again, it's not audible, it's just a little thing that will show up on the screen. If you're not paying attention to that, it'll disable you from the FSD and you get a strike. So you have to pay attention to what's paying attention so it'll know you're paying attention. Yes, I know that's confusing. Anyway, that is what all is entailed when you hear someone say supervised FSD or supervised full self-driving. What's really exciting is in just over a month in Austin, Texas, just down the road from here, Tesla's going to be unveiling their unsupervised, fully autonomous, no driver needed, full self-driving. And for those that have a little bit of experience with Tesla's FSD, it sounds very promising. Because other than some issues I have going in and out of parking lots off of major thoroughfares, I don't have any issues with the safety, the way it interacts with other cars, pedestrians. Mommy's pushing baby buggies. It's just extremely lifelike. It's just near perfection. Of course, if there's no driver in the car and there's no supervision like it is right here with me sitting in the driver's seat, what they're talking about in Austin in June is nobody being in the driver's seat. I mean, they may have initially have some employees just for so people don't freak out, but the goal is to start using their RoboTaxis that don't even have a steering wheel here. It's just got one seat of 3 across the back of the CyberTaxis. I understand from what I've read that Tesla's going to start out with using some of their new Model Ys for this new unveiling of the unsupervised full self-driving. But we're on the brink of something really exciting, folks. Once the unsupervised is confirmed and they get hundreds and thousands of miles showing that it's working fantastic, then it'll go out to a broader area. Right now it's just going to be kind of a confined space in central Austin, similar to the way that Waymo does now. Waymo is Google's autonomous driving service. They've got, I think, around 700 vehicles, but those are only available in very specific parts of specific towns. Like Austin is one, San Francisco, I think that Tucson, Arizona. But they use a lot of different technologies to do that. They use radar, LiDAR, along with visual cameras. And they call it geofenced. It's a tight area where they've got extremely high definition GPS maps that have been programmed in, so they know the distance between curbs. It's almost like a video game. Whereas Tesla uses just the cameras for its self-driving, just like human eyes looking to see what's in the road, what direction are they going, how fast are they going, do they have a blinker on, are their brake lights on. If Google were to take a Waymo and set it in the middle of a nondescript street right over there, it'd be completely helpless. It couldn't go anywhere. But now any Tesla made in the last 5 or 6 years, set it out there somewhere, and it'll get you home, or to the store, or to the hospital, wherever you need it to go. Sees cars approaching here on the right, so it's moving over to the left-hand lane to give them room. Extremely courteous. Very well-mannered chauffeur service. Pay attention to the road. I am. Don't give me a strike. Don't give me a strike. I'm looking at the screen to find out what it's telling me to do, so I'm not, therefore not looking at the street, so it continues on that timer to give me a strike. Tesla's very serious about this being supervised. Of course, it's all for safety reasons. We're all for that. But I can't watch the road for watching the screen to tell me to watch the road. Those other CyberTruck drivers are sexy car drivers. Do y'all have the same angry lady trying to jump out of the screen to you when you're using FSD? I think mine is overly sensitive. I got 3 strikes in one 45-minute period. Check out the video on that. I was watching the road, except for when I was talking to the screen because it said I wasn't watching the road. However, I went on about a 1,600-mile round trip to Colorado last month and back, and there were hours at a time where it didn't ask me to do anything. I wasn't required to do anything. Just eyes on the road, talking to my fiance or listening to the radio. Stop to eat, charge the battery. Just, it was a joy, an absolute joy to make the trip. Move over to the standard mode to FSD is, like I said, it's very courteous about getting out of other people's way. But on the highway, if you're in hurry mode, it tends to stay in the left-hand lane. See, there's a gap between me and that white Tesla up ahead, and I want to be extremely courteous and so people see that I'm not holding them up. Today's political climate, people see a CyberTruck and they jump one of 2 ways, usually very quickly. That's a story for another drive. I did record a really cute thing in my fiance's neighborhood last week. It's titled "Kids Love the Cybertruck." It's the version that's only 2 minutes long. Picked up my fiance and her mother at her house and going to eat, and a bunch of kids in this cul-de-sac playing. And they were waving and screaming when they saw us get in the Cybertruck. And I honked and they waved more. And Rose said, go down there, go show them. So I went down, made the U-turn in the cul-de-sac. And as I was making the turn, they all started saluting the truck like it was, military equipment or something. Just, out of respect. Just kids are cute, innocent. They haven't been poisoned by all the political drab on TV. After dinner, we got back, and it was just almost sun started to go down. So I showed them the light show, with the music, and they were completely head over heels about how cool that was. I am paying attention. You notice there, I didn't do anything for the unaudible notice because I didn't see it. Because I was looking at the road. But then when you get the audible notice and the screen starts flashing, you're down to just a couple of seconds before it disengages and you get a strike. If y'all are having different experience with your FSD, please leave me a comment. I've seen so many hundreds of hours of FSD videos that all the other great people are putting out, and I don't see them having issues like this. Yes, I know this is a long way to go for a salad bar at Whole Foods, but they're building one closer to home, but it's not open yet. It's a great distance to go make a drive, see how FSD is doing. And we haven't had an update. I'm still using version 13.2.8, which I think is the newest version out there. However, I see improvements, not every day, but week to week. I see things that it could do better one week, that it does do better the next. Mistakes that it makes. Y'all watch my videos, a lot of them start me leaving the car wash. This thing's hard to keep clean. So coming out of the car wash, I engage FSD, and the first thing it wants to do is turn right back in front of the discharge area of the car wash, and there's no way to get out there. So I've got to grab the steering wheel, turn to the left, and I noticed yesterday, day before, engage the same place I always do, and son of a gun, the left blinker came on and it turned left. I guess that was 3 days ago, because it's done that twice now. So it's learning. That's the way this neural network works. It's the way the program, this is the way the software works. This is the way it was intended to work. Just like you and me. We learn from changing conditions, learning things. That is so powerful. I took my daughter and son-in-law out to dinner last night, and their first time in the CyberTruck, first time in an EV, as far as I know. Well, maybe not, but first time with full self-driving. And they were extremely curious as to how it worked and if it worked, and that they were curious and a bit on the negative side. Wouldn't trust it, don't trust it, wouldn't trust it. Which I thought was kind of funny. You see in standard mode, we're doing 76, 77, and a 70-mile-an-hour speed limit. We're generally going kind of with the traffic. Which in Texas and this time of day, it's going to be above the speed limit. Change lanes, get out from behind the slow traffic. Just as an example, I'll go to hurry, and we'll speed up even more and may go to the left lane. But maybe not, since they're going faster than we are right here. It tends to be just a bit more aggressive in the hurry mode. But not when cars are flying by. FSD takes all of the drudgery out of driving. Of course, this is pretty easy right here in the afternoon with no traffic, or not much traffic. It's all moving very well. You know, if you're in 5 o'clock traffic, afternoon, bumper to bumper, stop and go, that takes a physical and mental toll on your body. We're all used to it, so just part of the daily grind. Once you've experienced this for even just a few days, you can tell the difference in the way you feel. You become very aware of how draining actual driving can be. And I don't want to get a strike just so I can show you. I may anyway, but I'd rather just tell you about it. When you do get a strike, it disengages FSD and you cannot re-engage it until after you get to your destination. So if you're on a 1 hour drive and it happens 10 minutes in, you've got 50 minutes of your driving yourself. I've said it on several videos, when it get a strike and it disengages, I hate to drive. I don't. I love driving this car, this CyberTruck. I've liked driving all my life. But after you've experienced it and you just sit back and just relax and you're taking in the scenery and, you know, what have you, that you can't do so much when you're driving. Then when you have to drive, it's so disappointing. So much so, I'll pull over on the shoulder and put it in park and re-engage. Sometimes it's because I'm a glutton for punishment, and then I'll get another strike, accelerating back onto the freeway, exceeding the 85-mile-an-hour limit on full self-drive because I'm that way. So FSD can take into consideration several different routes to get to where you're going, the weather, the traffic. It cannot take into account your state of mind or your current level of anxiety. So it can't read your mind, but it's not too far from that. And the more you're riding around with FSD, it's doing the driving, I'm just watching it. It's like a video game, or it's like a Disney ride. I'm just enjoying watching it do what it does. And you realize that it sees things like we do, and it forecasts what's going to happen next. I know that sounds bizarre, but hear me out. When we see a car up ahead turn on its blinker, and then we see its brake lights, that tells us something, right? We can, from that, we can forecast what, at least what that car is probably going to do. It's going to be slowing down, or it's already started slowing down, and it's changing lanes to the right or to the left. So we can kind of predict what it's going to do. Well, guess what? All that's been programmed in to the Tesla software, and it's got millions, literally millions and millions of miles of data watching those type of interactions between cars and brake lights and turn signals. So it understands what we understand about the way cars interact with each other and the roads themselves. And that can't be underemphasized, overemphasized. I think it's under realized, because that's what the big deal is. Nobody wants to be replaced by robots. Nobody wants to think that our intellect can be programmed into a machine. But in a lot of ways it can, and it has been. And there's nothing to be afraid of. Just understand it, grasp the reality, and enjoy it, take advantage. Uh-oh, we moved into a lane we don't have right here. Maybe we do. It's exit only, but we're actually... yeah, we're not supposed to be in this lane. Now it's moving over. Now, I should have disengaged, but I wasn't quite sure. Don't normally come this way. So there was a perfect example of where FSD is far from perfect. It needs supervision with road construction, things like that. Sometimes, you know, it pulls us under the shoulder because it, for some period of time during the day, the shoulder may be the place we're supposed to be, but not then. But it does not make those kind of mistakes very often. I can't presently think of when the last time was. So like that, that's not a safety issue. You know, sometimes there's emergency. You hear about these emergency disengagements because it's pulled the wrong way on a one-way road or something like that. I have not experienced anything like that. Well, I guess the last thing I can remember is it tried to go straight from a left turn lane. I think we can go here. Just a bit of encouragement. Again, it's slight imperfection. That's what this is. It's kind of coordination between machine and supervisor. So anyway, yeah, I was driving across town, and the left-hand lane turned into a second left turn lane. This is another thing it hasn't learned. We've got to go straight here at Whole Foods. Big EV Go charging station going in here. So I found myself in one of two left turn lanes. The right of the two left, and I needed to go straight. And once the car realized what it had done, it turned on the right blinker, trying to get out of the turn lane to go straight. I disengaged that and made the left-hand turn, so I didn't get any more people mad at a CyberTruck. So again, kind of a minor issue, but things that will irritate other drivers. Nowadays, it doesn't take much to irritate other drivers, especially if they're driving a Tesla or a CyberTruck. So we just got to take that into consideration, I guess. Okay, folks, y'all stand by. I'm going to go do a little shopping, and we'll visit again on the way out or the way home.